Hi there, and welcome to the ATS podcast with me, Will Brown, and John Soulsby, where we break down chunks of health and fitness information into bite-sized pieces, remove a bunch of the noise, and just leave what's relevant. Today we are on episode 42, and we are looking at ketosis and athletic endurance, myth or reality. This topic prompt is in itself moderately confusing, but we will attempt to
Yeah,
muddle through.
I feel like it is a reality. It is a thing you can do. It's not like some mythical beast that
Yeah, it does
can't
in
be
fact
fought.
happen.
But yeah, I suppose we've talked a lot before about the role of glucose in exercise, and essentially ketosis is, long story short, what happens when you don't have any carbs. Just put it very bluntly for people who don't know what it is. But when you don't eat carbohydrates, your liver produces them for you. So because your brain needs them to live. So that's your short story on ketosis. The theory behind ketosis for athletic performance or athletic endurance, sorry, is main. You have the main energy systems, which again we've discussed before, and fat oxidation or using your fat stores is mainly used for endurance exercise. Everything's kind of used at once, but it mainly relies on that. So the idea is that if you eat a ketogenic diet, your body will then change. It will biohack itself and change its the way it works to use more fat, essentially, and that's like the general theory around it. And it's kind of still very new, so there's not too much information on it at the moment. Currently, there's no scientific backing for any performance benefit to doing that. And there's still the thing that limits how much endurance exercise you can do is how much glycogen you have in your bloodstream and in your muscles. So kind of I feel a bit of a waste of time. But so far, there are potentially some performance negatives. As I said, like if you don't have enough glucose, that still seems to be what impacts your overall performance. But once you run out of them, kind of done. And if you're on a keto diet, that'll happen quicker.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, unsurprising, or I say unsurprisingly, I would be genuinely surprised Pikachu faced if I went to any. I mean, we live in the United Kingdom. Like, if we went to GB rowing, like some big powerhouse sport in the UK, so obviously it's all the white middle class stuff like rowing and sailing and fucking equestrian.
yep.
Um, you go to Team GB and you're like, all right, lads, we're at camp at like Loughborough Uni or wherever they hang out, and you're like, where's the nutrition, like where's the dietitians, like where's the old kitchen, like what kind of meals are you prepping for the athletes? And then we're just like, bro, why are you giving them all these fucking carbs? Like surely they'll be better in ketosis. I feel like you would get laughed out of the room.
Yeah,
Like
and I suppose like this is why, in some realm, it needs tested so that you don't just get laughed out the room and actually everyone was wrong. But I think there's a reason in this one you get laughed out the room because there's a reason. There's a stereotype of endurance athletes just eating pasta all day every day, and
you're
it's
just
because they
like,
need
Ken,
A10
what?
carbs.
My car says I need E10 unleaded to be optimal, but do you know
I'm
what?
putting in diesel.
I'm actually just putting in red diesel. Like literally, I'm gonna go rob the nearest JCB at a construction site and just fucking just plow
Yeah,
just plow 20 liters of red diesel straight in my unleaded engine.
and I do think it probably this is one of the areas that probably is the most researched or close to the most researched in athletic performance is how to fuel performance like during like intra workout like performance. So you're
Yeah,
thinking like your Powerades, your Gatorades, like especially in American sports. That well, I don't know if we've said the story in this before, but that's literally why Gatorade is called Gatorade. It was made by the Florida University, where their football team is the Florida Gators. It's why it's called Gatorade. Um, so like they've chucked so much money and so much research into this and found that super high carbs and salt is what you need to have. So it would
yeah.
surprise Pikachu face me as well if they were suddenly like, no, you
What
don't need any of this.
what actually surprised Pikachu faced me quite when I was looking into this is like for quite a while, like big old Mark Smelly Bell and like a whole bunch of people were promoting these fucking like exogenous ketone supplements, like shit that you can just pop. Like they would always be like testing themselves to see if they were in ketosis. Like you can do like a saliva swab or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck, um, to see if you are in fact in ketosis. Um, the where it gets wild is that like if you actually introduce too much like non-human made exogenous like not from you ketones, like if you use supplements to physically bump your ketones
Hmm.
higher than they're meant to be, you can actually get into a state of metabolic acidosis, which is
Jesus
like
wept.
a horrific, it's like a really bad electrolyte problem. Like it's a horrific
And it's like, just eat
electrolyte
my water.
disorder, categorized by an imbalance in body's acid to base balance. This is why when people are like, "Yeah, bro, you need to neutralize your acidic. Like you're just so acidic. That's why you're always inflamed all the time." Blah blah blah. Mate, you're fucking
Gotta have that alkaline water.
you gotta have that alkaline water. Gotta get. There's actually, I was looking into this the other day. There's actually a problem where people are getting fucking admitted to hospital in the US
Of
because
course.
they are, of course, it's the US. It will probably be over here as well because they're taking like distilled water. So they're removing all the
Oh,
minerals from water and drinking it to be like, yeah, I don't want no fucking government minerals that's turning all the frogs gay.
come
But
on.
the fucking big problem with that, broski, is that your body will then be like, oh shit, I've got a lot of fluid on board, and then it's just going to distribute your current level of minerals amongst a whole bunch of fluid that isn't providing any minerals. So you're just spreading your mineral amount over like a much bigger amount of water than you would usually need to. So you just end up in acute mineral deficiency, and then you end up in fucking hospital because you've literally drunk water with no minerals in it, and your body's like, well, fuck, I'm not getting any minerals from absolutely anywhere. So I guess I'm just gonna get, kidney dysfunction.
Goodness.
Like it's just gonna be real bad.
Um,
However, what Big Mark Bell and all the other the ketosis bros really missed out on, right, is that one of the absolutely most efficient ways to introduce exogenous ketones, isopropyl alcohol. That stuff
oh,
is
if they started down
packed
in that, that would have been
is
brilliant.
packed with ketones,
Don't
almost
do it.
guaranteed to cause ketoacidosis immediately.
That's to say.
Another possible gin favorite. Apparently, ketoacidosis is also as a result of, well, can be caused by deficiency of insulin in type 1 diabetics. RIP
Yeah.
all the type 1s, sad boys. Your pancreas doesn't work. Um, However, also late stage type 2 diabetes, but can also be the result of chronic heavy alcohol use. So maybe maybe there is a better way. Who needs diabetes when you can just become an alcoholic? I wonder if that's got how. I wonder if that's part of the function of why you can't just cold turkey alcohol addiction stuff. Like you can't cold turkey alcoholism
Maybe.
because you genuinely would just crash.
Um, but yeah,
Ketoacidosis causes significant metabolic derangements and is a life-threatening medical
Jesus.
emergency. Minted. I love it when
So
people
yeah,
are just like,
it's,
"Yeah, bro, I'm gonna take some ketones." Oh
yeah.
dear.
So essentially, don't bother with it. Also, your performance is going to go down when you're depressed and sad because you can't eat any carbs.
That is a
So
big
that
thing,
would
yeah.
be the impact on my life.
That also means like no
Um,
barbecue sauce on any of the only protein meals you eat, because loads of that has
exactly,
sugar in it too.
just dry chicken, brilliant. Um, and I thought this was an interesting point. So this is like it's like an expert opinion piece, but it's written by essentially printed in the American College of Cardiology. But it was just the increased risk of progressive atherogenesis, which is like atherosclerosis and shit like that in your capillaries and veins and stuff, and poor cardiovascular outcomes would ultimately impede your athletic performance, which is I just thought was a great wee snapshot. Essentially, your athletic performance is going to be crap when you're dead because you've eaten so much fat.
Yeah, that doesn't help. Again, similar, unsurprisingly, diets or nutritional paradigms or the way folk eat, if it is all of one and absolutely none of the other without reasonable medical justification, and like there are specific medical things that I'm probably not even aware of where it is completely valid for some of these things.
100%.
However, outside of those very specific circumstances, is hardly ever going to be the best answer for a lot of people. And then when you chuck athletic performance in there, you're talking about a whole different kettle of fish because you're essentially going by the what makes you feel good type stuff and like what is actually healthy, as in not if it is not actively killing you quicker, then you can justify it as healthy. Um, you've got the will the boat go faster question, and if it doesn't say yes, so it's not getting we're not caring about it. Like, don't care about your ketosis, it don't make the boat go faster, therefore not relevant. Don't care how cool you look with your little ketone strips, not happening. But yeah,
No,
isopropyl alcohol, the new
Bruce,
pre-workout supplement. See you next time.
don't.
Yeah, also 100% don't drink isopropyl alcohol.
Yeah, disclaimer: do not sue us. That is not actual fact.
This is very much not a fact. Although I'm sure that guy that does the Will It Pre will eventually make his way to that. So I look forward to the results.